What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. After pretty much a hiatus, we are back with a brand new episode, and we will be talking about Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Does it deserve the hate that it's getting? Well, we're going to give our opinions on it, so let's talk about it right now. First, non-spoilers. All right, Marin, what is one thing in the film that is non-spoilery that you liked?
Uh, Modoc. Modoc was pretty funny. I like. I don't think that's a spoiler because he was shown in the trailer.
I mean, everyone knew about
I'm not gonna say who plays him. I don't think that's not.
That's a spoiler. Well, it's kind of
Yeah.
like accidental
Anyways,
in the trailer.
he was. I liked him. I liked his dynamic with the other characters. You know, Modoc was not a disappointment. I get why people hate it, but like my thing is that he looks just like that in the freaking comics. He looks weird in the comics. So you know,
He's
that's
ugly.
my.
Just
He's
say
ugly. He's an ugly. Yeah, he's an ugly character. But he's like every time I see him in movie or like in cartoon shows or like in comics or yeah, in comics I would say he's not. He's always being played as a silly villain. Not taken too serious.
right.
The
Yeah.
real threat of Ant-Man, as you can tell, what's up, is gonna be Kang, which is also another thing that I really loved of this movie. Kang, I think Kang was the best part of the movie, to be honest.
I agree. Yeah. About Modoc though, it's like I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Modoc was the one character I would have like one of the characters I thought we never see in the MCU due to like how how he looks, how he is in a way. I thought if we were to see him in the MCU, it would be completely different. He wouldn't be having that big head because at a one point, Agents of Shield was wanting to use Modoc, but Marvel was like, no, no, we got plans for him and all that. So it's just, guys, imagine how that version would have been. Probably not that good, but still. So seeing Modoc in the MCU was impressive. And it's pretty interesting too, because of all the other characters we got in She-Hulk that one probably would have thought we'd never see in the MCU. So I feel like it makes many people wonder what other characters, what other weird, ugly type characters we can see in the MCU next.
I agree, man. I totally agree. Overall, the story of Quantumania was it was a pretty, in my opinion, a pretty average Marvel story. It takes
Right.
it starts off with Scott Lang, just living his everyday life, after saving the world, of course, after Endgame, being the being, I guess, the Avenger that technically did save everybody if he wasn't let out of that the quantum realm. So it just takes place of that, man, and we see him just interacting with everyday people. Somebody confusing him for Spider-Man at one point, if you remember that scene, the coffee shop. Thank you, Spider-Man. I will say this about the Ant-Man movie. It made me chuckle a bit. Like it was pretty funny in my opinion. Not like other Marvel movies that try too hard. This one was like I don't know how to explain. Like I felt sincere laughing.
I see. With this film, like I would go more into detail about it in the spoiler part of the review, but it kind of gave me vibes of Ragnarok in a way, like how it was kind of like different. I don't want to like go more into like because this includes
No, we all we
parts
said so
go
far
more
is what we've seen in trailers. We see that he gets, that's where it takes place. It takes place in the quantum realm. We see him, in the trailer getting sucked in by a device.
yeah.
I'm not gonna say who built the device, but it was by a device.
It,
They all get sucked
it
in.
was Cassie because it was in the trailer.
All right, well,
That was in
spoiler
the
alert.
trailer. That was in the trailer. So
He's lying. But anyways, also I will say that we saw more of Janet Van Dyne, more
yeah,
of her character explored
she
in
stole
this.
the show. Honestly, I feel like at times
You
too.
did?
Yeah,
I
like
wouldn't say she stole the show.
no,
She
she
was
didn't
she was
steal the show,
interesting.
but like she was one of the standouts. Let's just say her and Kang, in my opinion, were like the two main standouts. Of course,
You
you
know
have Dog, of course.
who wasn't a standout, who was kind of left out of the in the sidelines was the Wasp. We barely get to
Yeah,
see any of her character arc.
that's pretty upsetting.
You know, I felt like she was just there when Scott needed her. Or just like a convenient plot device.
They could have
You
done
know,
much more with her, and I feel they could have done more with Kang also.
it was because this is supposed to be an Ant Man and the Wasp story, but it kind of just felt like an Ant Man and the Stinger, whatever the freaking daughter's
Yeah,
superhero name is.
Cass.
What's her name? The Sting.
Uh, I don't think did they reveal her hero name in the film?
Well, isn't it already known what her name is?
Singer in the comics, and she has another name too.
Yeah, well, it felt like it feels more like Ant Man and the Stinger than Ant Man and the Wasp, because the Wasp is pushed onto the sidelines, in my opinion.
Yeah, but like let's talk about Cassie because I feel like she get a lot of people are mixed with her for
Well, she
especially with Cassie's performance.
maybe it has to do with something about her getting suddenly replaced.
Yeah, I get that.
What's your opinion on that, buddy?
How they replaced her was kind of messed up because they didn't like the actress from Endgame. She had no idea she was getting replaced, and then like she didn't find out that she was getting replaced until like the D23, I think, when they like revealed the Ant-Man Quantumania news. That was when she got replaced. Like that was when she found out she got replaced. So it's kind of
Yeah,
messed up that they didn't.
it's being played by Catherine Newton, who took over for I think her name was Emma Furman.
Yes,
Emma Furman, which I have no reason. I don't know why they did that.
bigger
Like
name
it makes,
in a
yeah,
way.
I guess, but like why not just hire her in the first place?
I have
I
no,
don't know.
but with
I feel bad. Hopefully they recast her again. Just to be recasting her for like every single Ant Man rendition, right? Am I wrong?
yeah, I
Like they
guess.
recast her like 3 times already.
Well, I mean, one of them was supposed to be like an older version of one, but yet now she's like a older teenager. So
But yeah, shout out to Emma Furman, by the
like,
way.
I want to
I
talk
know
about her
the
performance first for a second because
to
you
who
know
talking about Emma or the other the
Emma, because like with
we barely saw
Catherine,
her.
no hate to Catherine Newton, she was great in Quantumania, but how
Yeah,
Emma was with Paul Rudd, I felt there was more of a connection there.
we only saw a little bit of her, right? Or was
Yeah,
she?
but yeah, she was briefly in Endgame, but yet I don't know, you could just kind of feel just more of a connection between her and Paul.
Did we only? How long did we see her for in Avengers? 1 minute, right? Like a minute or two.
Less than 5 minutes.
Yeah. Do you
I
think she
don't
get a
know why.
well?
I just felt there was more of a connection in like in this the one or two scenes we've seen of her
Yeah.
and in Quantumania because like I saw people make memes of this and I have to agree how Cassie language is all like Dad, just the whole movie
What do you mean? Go.
of her just her all her lines were was just her screaming out for her dad.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm not gonna say she did a pretty good job
Yeah,
too.
she did
She
a
it
good
wasn't
job.
too bad. It wasn't bad at all. Like I, it wasn't bad. I'm just surprised that they decided to replace the character. You
Yeah,
know, that was the only thing. I didn't really think she did bad as a performance.
yeah.
Any hate I hate towards the movie has nothing to do with the actor's performance. I think they did it all. Like they all did a great job acting. Mostly
Especially
my
Jonathan
opinion would,
Sayers.
yeah, yeah, especially him. But my opinion with my grief with the movie is more of it's just the writing and
Yeah,
the writing wasn't bad either. But like I'm like a little bit of the writing and a lot of the CGI.
like they use this technology called the spacecraft, the volume, which is what they use for like the Mandalorian. What
Stagecraft
else?
volume.
Yes, they use for the Mandalorian, Kenobi, Kenobi, and they used it on Book of Boba Fett also, and Thor: Love and
Excuse me.
Thunder. The director of Quantumania.
Go more into that. What is a stagecraft?
I'll get into it in a minute, but okay. So the director Peyton Reed, he directed 2 episodes of The Mandalorian, and they used the volume spacecraft technology, which is like this. It's like a dome that is like just an LED screen that's like a virtual reality.
Wait, it's an edit. So is it? Oh, so it's like just a big giant like dome filled with flat screen TVs, basically.
In a way, yes. So it's like you move like the location, like it's
Huh.
like I said, it's like a virtual reality.
So when they film it, do they use that like background in the movie, or do they replace all the background with like
It
CGI? Or is the background mostly for the characters and to know where the camera will be angled at? You know what I'm
that
saying?
too, in a way. It
Or do they
depends.
actually use the background for the shots in the movie?
They use the background, but yet they blended in it because it like one of the guys who worked on the the volume talked about how it will how like it needs good lighting and all that for the scene, and like if you've seen like the Batman, that also uses the volume, the spacecraft.
Really?
Yes. So it's like in the Batman, it
Oh,
looks really good.
I couldn't even tell.
Like I mentioned, Peyton Reed, he directed 2 episodes of The Mandalorian, which used the volume, so which is probably one of the reasons why he was able to like use it for Quantumania. So did Taika Waititi with Thor: Love and Thunder because he directed an episode of The Mandalorian also. So it's like it's unique, but yet there are times where it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you can. They definitely did not like blend it in well, I guess. So you can like tell
Overall, it was still pretty good. Like I did like, exploring the quantum realm, is it called?
the quantum realm.
Yeah, I love, exploring that realm, the quantum realm, seeing all these little creatures, how they live their life.
Yeah, I
I'll get more into that with the spoilers because there's one thing I want to talk about, but yeah, I'll get more into that to the spoilers. But overall, it looks unique.
yeah
It looks a little bit like Deep Space, but you can also tell it's different than Deep Space Marvel.
yeah I
You know what I
agree.
mean?
The quantum realm is like we've like known of it. It played a big part in Endgame, obviously, but like what else is in the quantum realm? And we learned that in Quantumania, which does like it explores that part of it in a very good way, very unique way, very interesting way.
Now, I have a
Like,
question. Do you think we'll be returning to the quantum realm in any other movies, or you think this is the last time we're gonna see anything about the quantum realm?
feel like we'll see it again, but like not anytime soon.
Okay, see that. I
But
think maybe Fantastic Four. Isn't their characters deal a lot with that realm?
like something like that. I'll talk more about that in the spoilers. But with that, no, to end the spoiler part or the non-spoiler part, what would you say is like what would be who was like the best character that stood out, and like what would be like your overall thoughts on Quantumania?
My
With
best character that stood out was overall Randall Park. That one scene he had with the card magic trick just took me back to like great. I'm just kidding. Jason Mathers, Jonathan Mathers, my bad. Jonathan Majors, of course.
yes,
Great standout. I feel like this is gonna be his year because he not only has this, but he had Creed 3 and Loki too. So this is gonna be a major
oh yeah,
year for Jonathan Majors, pun
I
intended.
agree.
He was an overall standout character, but I think everybody loves
Yeah,
him. If I would have to say somebody else, I'm looking at the character list right now. Like I said, Modoc. He was another standout for me.
I agree. But what would be your overall thoughts on the film?
I'm gonna give it a solid 6 out of 10. Solid 6 out of 10. It's not a bad film, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's the best Marvel film, or like
I,
at least the top 5 either. But
I,
it's a pretty good watch.
I agree with
Pretty
that.
good to watch.
Pretty good
6.
watch. In my opinion, Kang was the one that stole the show. Of course, I like all the characters. It was great to like see them again after the events of Endgame, but like I feel like this sets up Kang in a big way,
Yeah, for sure.
and I can't wait to see more of him and his variants.
What about your rating for the movie?
Maybe like a 7.5. Like I don't think like this was not terrible at all. Like of course it has its problems, but yet it's it's such a fun film, you know. It was like how like Black Adam released or last year, and like that was just a fun film, even though with its problems. Like I feel like with Quantumania, it is one you could just sit back and enjoy, have a laugh, enjoy Paul Rudd.
This was
The,
way better than Black Adam, by the way,
yeah,
in
way
my
better.
opinion.
But it's
Yeah.
like you know, and like not all movies need to be like big. You know, don't have to be like all this like cinematic masterpieces. You know, like with the Ant-Man films, those are always have been just fun family films, fun heist type films.
Do you think they should just stop making them cinematic films and just have them straight to Disney Plus?
They ain't gonna do that.
Not with Ant-Man.
Not with the only way they're doing like Disney Plus movies is with what's it called the special presentations. Even though like those are like less than an hour, but that's probably like the closest thing to movies we'll get on Disney Plus, to be honest. All right, so that concludes the non-spoiler part of the review. Now we're going to move into spoilers, and I want to just say right out the bat, damn, Modoc was heroic. At least we saw him become an Avenger in his final moments.
MODOK. Yeah, for sure. I got the most laugh from the MODOK character.
Agreed. It was
He
like
was a major
interesting.
dick at first, but then he became an Avenger. Just like other Avengers. I'm not a dick.
But
I
like
can't wait. I can't wait to get all the meme. I want to get that on Disney Plus, just so I can keep rewatching that one scene.
exactly. And also like kind of like the backstory behind Kang in it and like what it teases and like just the parts of him and Janet. Like I'm not gonna lie, him and Janet worked well together, but I wanted to state the obvious with those two. They obviously fucked.
Whoa! Kid friendly, my man. What made you even think that, bro?
Well, she was stuck there for 30 years and she had her needs. Same thing she told Hank when he's like, "Do you two, according to about
Yeah, but
her,
that was about Bill Murray. That wasn't about Kang.
her and Kane definitely had a fling too."
All right. I don't know.
But also with Bill Murray, I would have never expected to see him in the MCU. But I'm not gonna lie, I kind of feel they wasted him.
Think so?
I don't know, like apparently he was supposed to have more in like the third act. Supposed to be part of the like the revolution scene, but yet they cut it out.
I don't know his character. Bill Murray's character was kind of a forgettable character.
It's just
Like
there, and that's it.
that kind of whole scene didn't really make any sense to me. Like I get it, they just wanted to add some exposition to the plot because it was just like, hey, you have to join us. If not, Kang is gonna
Yeah,
find you. He's gonna kill you, kind of thing.
yeah, I see that. They could have done more with him, to be honest.
For sure. If we're getting into spoilers, you can talk about the how this is not the only King. This is a King variant, and he doesn't even live throughout the film. He dies.
It
He's a dead man.
is apparently unknown what happens to him.
Oh, he's dead,
Which
bro.
is weird. Like it's
They
easily
literally
I
my
don't,
bad. The other Kings confirmed his death at the end of the movie.
but it's like I don't know. I feel like something may happen. I don't know yet, but it's like I don't know. How
I
to
don't know. I
like
think I think that was King. Like he's dead, bro.
like I remember hearing something about like how this is pretty much a Fantastic Four story on how they went like subatomic stuff like that, ran into Kang. So it's like that's why because in the non-spoiler part you mentioned how like you could like see the Fantastic Four being in the quantum realm. Where I saw people talk about how this is like a Fantastic Four story, which is pretty interesting.
You think this could have been a Fantastic Four story?
It honestly could have been because I remember there were like rumors of the Fantastic Four being in this film, and like there were like just a whole bunch of rumors at the time of the Young Avengers, of it setting up the Young Avengers. Like MODOK was wanted in the film from the beginning, apparently, even with one of the original drafts that didn't really involve the quantum realm much. One thing though that I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really like about this film, but at the same time, it's like okay, I kind of get it. Was no Louise, no Michael Pena's character,
No Ti, no other guy, the
no
Russian guy.
the Russian guy, which was weird because like we see Randall Park in the beginning. That's a
Yeah,
cameo, pretty much. Why didn't we see the ex-cons?
budget maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. That like kind of made no sense in my opinion, but it is what it is. But like this is why I say this is like the Ragnarok of the Ant-Man films, because remember how in Thor Ragnarok, like a lot of the side characters like Zane, Darcy, Eric Selvig, they're not in it, and it's like Thor in like only maybe like 5 minutes on Earth, and then he's in Sakaar. It's pretty much like this with Quantum Mania. It's like 5 minutes on Earth, and then the most of it's in the quantum realm. So that's why I say this is like the premise of Thor Ragnarok in a way.
You
With
think they're just trying to do Thor Ragnarok again with Ant Man?
no, mm, I don't know. I don't think so. I wouldn't say
Where would
so.
you where would you rank this in the Ant Man films?
I like it more than Ant Man and the Wasp. This is probably my second favorite out of the Ant Man trilogy. But like,
The first one's your favorite one?
yes, because I don't know. I felt
Okay.
the first one was just more unique with the
Hmm.
shots, the like showing Ant Man be small with like the giant world around him in a way. Like when Scott first tries on the suit and that whole sequence of like him like in the like there was the bathtub scene, the vacuum scene, stuff like that. It's like just felt unique, and like I don't know why the other films haven't done more stuff like that, like more shots like that, more sequences like that. Which I believe it should have done more stuff like that. But yeah, like in my opinion, the first Ant Man is the best. Then would be Quantumania. Then would be Ant Man and the Wasp. But I don't hate the Ant Man films. They're enjoyable for what they are. They're just fun, entertaining films.
I would
That's how I
say
see it. Nothing big. Just
yeah.
that's how the Ant Man films I feel has always been. Like, they're not Captain America level big. They're not Spider Man level big.
I would rank this for me for the Ant Man. I don't know. It's maybe because it's freshly in my mind. I would think this is better than both one and two. Uh, I just because I don't know. I like all that galactic quantum realm. I like when we explore stuff like that. The
Me
first
too.
one was pretty good. The second one is kind of forgettable with the ghost character. Is that her name? The villain of
Ghost,
that
yeah,
movie.
but she's apparently going to be in Thunderbolts.
The Thunderbolts. Yes. But for the third one of my other want to get it. I want to get into this scene where the last scene where they're all fighting each other. The big Kang army versus the quantum realm revolutionary. When everything looks like it's about to go to Kang looks like he's going to win and all this and that. Then we get the original Ant Man, Hank Pym, call his army of ants which just demolish. So another part, kind of a spoiler since we're into spoilers. They were working on these ants. They were like supposed to be like super smart ants. They're
Yeah,
like
they're
built their own
Spartans.
colonies. Yeah, they had these ants. They got sucked into the quantum realm with the Ant Man crew.
But they were
But
stuck in a time vortex.
yeah, they were stuck in a time vortex, which I guess gave them enough time to become super smart, build their own civilization. Like they were like crazy smart. I'm surprised they don't even have them talking, but they could talk to Hank Pym because he has like that thing in his brain or
Yeah,
whatever.
he could like communicate with the ants with the thing that he has an earpiece that
Yeah.
that's how
So
Scott is able to communicate with the ants too, like
so
through the helmet
he
earpiece and stuff like
so
that.
these ants are like super crazy smart and freaking strong because they're in numbers, stronger in numbers. So at the end, when they're having that big war, King's about to win, these ants come and just kick the ass of King's army. They're even technically the reason why King got killed, in my opinion. Even though he wasn't technically dead at that point, he came back to fight Scott at the end, but they
He
injured him pretty bad.
Scott.
That scene where I thought they were gonna show him the ants ripping his body apart. They didn't show that. I wish it would have. That would have been a cool ending for King.
It
And
would.
I'm just thinking like Thanos would have no chance if those ants were like to just come and attack him. Like good thing they didn't have those ants in Endgame because it would have been game over.
But like with
You talk about a Deus Ex Machina. That ants. Oh my god, bro. They were like I hope they show those ants again. In other movies, so like for other wars, if they ever need them again.
with
I want to see a scene where what's that one Avengers movie that we get in Kang's Dynasty, the first one?
King's Dynasty.
I want to see a scene where like we get Kang's Dynasty and like Hank Pym calls the ants again, and then he's like, "Oh snap, not these guys again," or whatever. Like he sees an ant and he's like scared of ants now.
That'd be cool. But like it reminded me of a scene in the Avengers, the Earth's Mightiest Heroes Avengers cartoon. Kang is like taking them to like different times, I believe, different dimensions, and like this was the Hank Pym Ant Man. He uses the helmet to communicate with Rhodes because they were in a like in a time period where everything was extinct. Like a nuclear bomb happened, something. So, and the only thing that survives a nuclear explosion are Rhodes. So like Rhodes get into the time serum, and like they defeat Kang.
This was in a comic.
It's a animated cartoon, the Earth's Mightiest Heroes one.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
But that one's the best Avengers cartoon there is.
Yeah, for sure. I remember that one.
Yep. So it reminded me of that. And then there's the scene of MODOK's butt.
Best scene of the movie as well.
It's like that scene in Thor Ragnarok where it shows Hulk's butt, and then you have Thor
When
Love.
I saw that, but I was thinking more of the scene of King of the Hill. Have you ever seen that show? We get where Hank Hill flashes his ass to a Peggy. It's like a tiny skinny ass. He has like no ass. It's like a big medical thing in the show. Looks exactly like what's his name, Modok's.
Oh my god.
Modok was the funniest character in the movie.
MODOK was
The
a
way
stand.
he touches like Scott's face when he's about to die. I always thought of you as a brother.
There are apparently plans on bringing MODOK back. I don't know how. I hope they do somehow because the character was just perfect. Like he's big head, ugly as hell. And have you seen the Hulu MODOK series on like how funny MODOK can be in that series? Well, it's a comedy series, but
Which got
MODOK,
canceled, by the way.
yeah, it got canceled unfortunately. But MODOK's humor, I felt was impaired, like close to how it was in that series, if you ask me.
Yeah, I see that, man. It would have been cool to have his voice by the same guy, but he's already in Marvel Cinematic Universe, anyways. As Pym.
But like with Darren Cross being MODOK, like part of the backstory that revealed what happened and all that, it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense because we just see like his body kind of shrink, and then like his head completely shrinks, and he just disappears into like the quantum realm. So It makes sense. It makes sense that he's MODOK.
Okay. Do you want to get into what? How did you feel about the chemistry between Ant-Man and his daughter?
It was
Because
good.
that was a big point of the movie as well. That was basically
Yeah.
the
This
second
is more of a
main story of the movie.
this was more of a father daughter type. It was kind of
Yeah,
it was and what was interesting was seeing Cassie now pretty much call Hank and Hope grandma and grandpa
yeah,
pretty
that's
much.
cool. I thought that was cool.
It's pretty cool, even though it's like, wait, is Hope and Scott married now?
I, I think they revealed that in the movie, didn't they? They got married in the movie.
No, because they were still, and we knew they were still together, but
But wasn't that like a big? I thought that was one of like the when Ant Man in the beginning was like saying what happened after those years.
yeah, but I don't remember them mentioning that they were married, that they were still together and stuff like that. But like, I don't know, but
Maybe she
what?
just sees him as a grandpa and grandma,
Yeah, I mean, I
which is
guess,
weird. So I guess it's weird because she was like they were like gone for 5 years.
yeah, yeah, and like she was supposed to be what, like she was supposed to be like 15 because she was 10 and Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
Like the 5 years happened because Scott was stuck in the quantum realm, and then it turned out she's now 15. But in Quantumania, she's 18. So like 3 years happened since, which is I guess 3 years they bonded and all that.
I mean, you have to also remember they were like they probably also bonded in Ant-Man and two, Ant-Man and the Wasp. They
Yeah,
probably bonded when she was younger. You know, when she was 5. I wouldn't be surprised if they were like really close even before the blip.
I can see that. Like, but like the blip, what the snap happens like right after.
Like it happened at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Pretty much, because you remember the beginning of Endgame, Hawkeye still had the restraining thing on his ankle that he couldn't leave the property.
Yeah.
And like in the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, Scott had his taken off.
Hmm.
So that's where the timeline is confused, but it's not as confusing as the X-Men films.
Marvel isn't really, Marvel is not known for
Yeah,
keeping track of itself.
I
We
feel like
can't.
remember though in Spider-Man: Homecoming how it was like 8 year, like it's so like a flashback to like after the first Avengers film with the destruction, and then
Yeah.
it fast forward to what was supposedly 8 years later, and then
Yeah.
Marvel was like, yeah, that was wrong. I remember a lot of fans were like, you know what, we're just gonna blame Sony for that since it's their film.
Yeah. What can you do, man? I don't know.
Yeah. Oh well, but like with this film, with Quantumania though, like back to like the family part, like this is obviously about family. This is about like
Family.
just yeah, Vin Diesel family. No, this is about like Scott, Hope, Cassie, and Hankins in it. This does not unfortunately include Cassie's mom, the cop stepdad who we've seen in the previous two Ant-Man films, and this does not include Uncle Louise. I feel like it should at least had like cameos from, but it didn't. And I guess that's fine. There really wasn't nothing for them to do in the film. I feel like they could have came up with something for Louise. Like maybe everyone gets sucked in and Louise just comes in and is like, what the heck?
I can see that. Like he comes into the garage like, hey, I brought donuts or something, or I brought capes, and he's just like, yeah. I see something. They could have added him. Maybe they didn't really see a point in adding him, or maybe we'll get to see a deleted scene. I don't know.
Yeah, but overall though, Quantumania was just still a fun movie. It's not one of those like masterpieces. It's just a movie to like have fun with the family, and like that's what Marvel is about, family in a way.
Okay, okay,
Like
okay.
this is how I see Marvel and Star Wars goes. With Star Wars, the themes always include family. You got like a bunch of like pretty much people in a group that kind of become close and become family. That's what Star Wars is about, and I feel like Marvel takes a lot of inspiration from Star Wars when it comes to that in a
Maybe
way. Like what
nowadays it didn't used to be like that. You know, I mean, think
it is
about
to be
Iron Man. You know, Iron Man had nothing to do with
more about, yeah.
family.
And then like I don't know, I feel like with the Avengers and onward, it kind of focused more on family in a way. It's like because with Guardians of the Galaxy, you have like a group of misfits that become a team and like they grow close to each other. And you even have Drax. We're like family, except for the blue girl over there. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy is a good example of that.
I see that, man. Oh, so would you recommend people to go watch this in theaters or just wait for it to come out on Disney Plus?
I don't think it's still in theaters at the moment. It might
It's
still
still in
be.
theaters.
Oh, yeah. I honestly watch it. I don't want to see no comic book movie fail in theaters, but yes, watch it.
I don't know. For me, I would say it's for. I feel like you could have waited. We could have
Like
waited for
you don't
this to come
have to,
out Disney Plus.
like with the quantum realm and all that. It's kind of amazing to see in IMAX,
Yeah,
but
I see what you mean. That like if
like
you're into that, yeah.
but I feel like at the same time, like you don't have to watch this film in IMAX if you don't want.
No, it's not Avatar 2 now.
It's not Avatar 2,
No, but
and it's not
overall,
3 hours long.
overall, good story, good.
Yeah.
It was a good movie. Mid, I would say mid,
Overall,
in
it
my
was a
opinion.
fun movie. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the characters, and I cannot wait for what it sets up with Kang Dynasty, and that. Well, one thing I want to mention though is how like the ending was of Scott eating the cake and be like, and then it just cuts there.
Yeah.
That just felt weird to me.
Oh, isn't it because they're teasing? They're teasing like for the next one, or for Kang's return. I get why they did it. I get why they did it, but
I
I
get
I
the
know what you
King,
mean.
but like the
I
mid credit scene,
I was gonna say we should get into the end credit and mid credit scene.
the mid and end credit scene, like the mid credit scene is like
Well, explain what they are. Go over the mid
a
one
week
first.
of King variants, like the Council of Kings meeting up, and they're like, they killed one of us, so let's get revenge. And how many do we need? All of them, and all the Kang, like a whole bunch of
Oof.
variants of Kangs pop up in like this arena gladiator type arena, cheering, like yeah, like getting ready, and then like holy crap, it's like the Avengers are
Yeah,
screwed.
I didn't know there was like a council of kings that actually still work together because I thought after from especially from Loki that they
Yeah,
all kind of split up, but no, they're all together and they're all planning on. It looks like they're planning on something big for sure,
and this
something
is
real big.
and this is what He Who Remains was pretty much warned
Loki.
Loki and Sylvie about.
Yeah.
And then in the post-credit scene, we see Loki and Mobius pretty much like tracking down a Kang variant in like the 1920s, I believe. I don't remember the
Like
time.
that. It was some old time thingy.
It was some old time period.
Yeah, the cancel kings. Yeah, they're screwed.
And then you have what
They
the
they need the Fantastic Four.
like with what it sets up for like in the post-credit scene with Loki and Mobius like seeing the Kang variant. It's like what do they have planned? Are they gonna like try to like kill all the King variants around time? Is that what Loki's gonna do? Or like just try to keep tabs on each one of them, or what? So
I think
like,
they're
there's
gonna. Well, so that's your theory. They're gonna try to kill him.
either to kill him or to just keep tabs on him until
Hmm.
like they do something. Then they come to intervene. Like, you have failed this universe.
Man, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited to see. Hopefully they do it. I don't know. I can't wait to see him again. I don't know what other movie we might see him in. I think we might see him in the Marvels, like a little end credit scene of him.
I'll be surprised if he's in the Marvels, and I won't be. He's obviously going to be in Loki,
Yeah, for sure. That's gonna probably
but
yeah.
he's definitely in the Marvels. Most likely, I want to assume. Maybe a post credit for Guardians, but I don't know. But yeah, I guess that concludes the us reviewing about Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Sir, yes, sir.
Right. Well, thanks for listening to us review Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and hear us just talk a whole bunch of nonsense about it. Check out our socials down in the description below, and yeah, subscribe for more podcasts coming soon to the near future, as we have a lot to talk about, from
Yes,
Marvel,
sir.
movies, video games, and just a lot.
And thank you for joining us on our journey into fantasy.